Hello, 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 and welcome back to March Bain's Midlife Dolly Crisis. And today I'm going to be unboxing this doll here. So this is the kind of Odile Barbie fashion sort of set, which came out a couple of years back now. I remember when it was first announced and we got the pictures, everyone was giddy with excitement because obviously we don't get the Odile face that much. Also, there were all these kind of rumours flying around that this meant that she was basically going to be the new face of Barbie. That didn't happen for anyone who's been asleep for a while. It didn't happen. She didn't become the new face of Barbie. It was literally just a kind of a variant, really, on this set. Because when she did actually come out, there were basically two versions. So there was this version, which is the Odile, and there was also a Millie-faced version. Now, the issue with this was the fact that if you ordered them online, you didn't necessarily know which version of these you were going to get. Also, I don't remember these ever hitting Europe. I didn't see any in my local Smith store, and I don't think I really saw them on Amazon either. I was very lucky to get this, only because Millie over at Millie Dolly Dame actually sent her to me because she'd found a way of getting one, basically. Huge thank you to Millie for sending this one to me. It was one that I really wanted, and I had pretty much given up hope of ever getting her. So, as I say, this one she's dated 2024. So I think she came out at the end of 2024, and from what I remember, she wasn't very readily available to begin with, and she was kind of found, I think, in Malaysia. As for the Millie face, I understand why people are bored with it and would like this to be the new face. But I kind of feel that the Odile face is special because she's not used an awful lot. And people are sick of the Millie face because she's used a hell of a lot because she is the face of Barbie. So if then this doll becomes the face of Barbie, if the Odile becomes the face of Barbie, she's going to be everywhere a lot. And I just think people are going to get sick of that as well. I don't know, maybe I'm overthinking it. Obviously, I know that the whole kind of screening doesn't always help because of pixelation. But I kind of think when they do the Millie face well, she actually looks really good. It's just the fact that we kind of get bad versions of it a lot as well. So that doesn't really help. But anyway, look, this is the box for this. We've got the doll here and she comes with all these kind of clothes, sort of mix and match items. I say mix and match. I don't know what you're mixing and matching it with because some of these are kind of, that's a dress and that's a dress. And then she's got a jacket and a skirt. She's got shoes, she's got a few accessories there. If we have a look on the back. Okay, so we look on the back. This is basically an Argos label, I think they've stuck on there. But as you see, we've got a picture of the doll and we've got all the kind of the bits that she comes with there. So I am going to get her out and then we'll have a closer look at her and all the kind of clothes and accessories that she comes with. So before we have a look at the doll and the stuff that she comes with, I thought I'd just show you the artwork on the inside of the box, which is actually quite cute. You could use this as a backdrop if you're very careful and sort of getting the stuff out. Getting the doll out wasn't actually too bad. She had some Kimble tags in the back of her head, but most of it was basically kind of those big sort of rubber band things. So you're able just to kind of snip them on the back of the cardboard and she came out very easily. The clothes, however, were kind of very much Kimble tags. So just be careful if you've got this set and you want to get the clothes out. Okay, so here is everything that you get in the box. So let's have a look at the doll first, because obviously she's kind of the main event, really, isn't she? So I'm going to bring her up to the camera so we can have a look. Okay, so hopefully you can see that there. So obviously she's got a very nice, a very sort of clean screening. She's got eyes which are kind of side glancing, brown eyebrows. She's got sort of blue eyes. She's got a very nice sort of shiny pinkish lip. I'm guessing she has blusher as well. She does have some on there by the looks of it, but it's quite subtle. The face-up isn't, you know, too over the top. It's just kind of like a nice clean look, which means that however you want to style her, you know, it will go. She's not going to look out of place in whatever you put her in, whether it's, you know, jeans and a t-shirt or a nice sort of fancy frock. Her hair is very nice, it's very soft. It's got this sort of parting on the side here. I'm presuming it's the good stuff because, as I say, it does feel very kind of silky smooth. You might want to give it a ball wash, however, because, I mean, mine has been in the box for I don't know how long, and there's kind of kinks in her hair where the rubber bands have been. So you might want to try and sort of straighten that out. Articulation wise, she's basically on a kind of a fashionista style body. So she can only kind of do head tilts. Her arms will go out, they'll go around, they'll go up, they'll go down. But yeah, they don't do anything. There's nothing at the elbow at all. And then there's nothing on the waist, but the legs will go kind of up. This skirt is not helping. I'm just going to pull it up. So yeah, so the leg wise, it will basically, you can kind of like get some sort of parting there, but they will basically go backwards and forwards. She can't really do a proper split, but it's kind of there, and then that's it really. So that is the doll. So obviously she comes wearing this dress, which is asymmetrical, and we've got this kind of frill here. It's nothing we haven't seen before. It's all right. It's fine. It is very kind of form-fitting and very kind of tight around here. So that was kind of why, you know, if you are going to try and sit her down, it's going to ride up. There's Velcro in the back to kind of get it on and off. And we've got this sort of overlocking or serging along the frill on the outside and also around the neckline. Everything looks very nicely sewn. There's no raw edges apart from at the end of the frill here. So the frill doesn't go all the way around. Essentially, it kind of just stops. There we go, just kind of stops. So you can see it at the front, but then there's nothing on the back at all there. The serging kind of carries on, or overlocking just kind of carries on there. And yeah, there's no edges on the bottom. It's all kind of very neatly sewn up. And the fabric is very nice. I'm sure kids would love this kind of look because it's very kind of glittery and spangly. If we go further down, we've got these shoes here. Again, it's probably not a new mould or anything we haven't seen already. And these are in a kind of like lilac colour. So look, let's have a look and see what else she comes with. Okay, so shoe-wise, she comes with 2 extra pairs of shoes. So we've got this kind of grey-heeled pair here, which is kind of like a sort of a grey, sort of silvery colour. I'm sure it's meant to be, you know, more silver than grey, perhaps. They're a very simple shoe. I don't know if I've seen this before, but, you know, they're nothing kind of that fancy or extraordinary. They're fine. Kind of a very simple pair of shoes, which is nice enough. It's always great to have shoes for your dolls anyway. We've also got this pink boot with a kind of a chunky heel on the back. They almost look like platform shoes, don't they? Now this is a see-through pink glittery plastic, which is actually really nice. I think these will look great on her. And yeah, they are kind of see-through. We've got some kind of stitching details just on the side and like a zip on the other side, but nothing kind of painted on. And, you know, likewise with the grey pair, there's no kind of painted details. We've got a few kind of bits sort of within the mould, but nothing too fancy. So that is the shoes. So then we've got these kind of more plasticky bits here. So these are the accessories. So she actually came holding this handbag here, which is like a bow with a sort of a fancy star on it. It's fine. It's, again, probably nothing we haven't already seen already. This other bag, the one with the long strap, I remember getting this in one of the advent calendars. I think actually in the same colour as well. Again, it's okay. It's kind of pretty standard. Obviously the bags don't open. Obviously there's no painted detail on them. But it's what you come to expect, I suppose. Along with these 2 items, we also have a necklace, which is yellow and plastic and says the word love on the bottom of it. Kind of as if they were sort of hanging off, like kind of charms, I suppose. So that is that. And then we have a pair of sunglasses. Now these are just a kind of a solid black, and they've got a kind of cat's eye shape to them. And we've got moulded on detail, but nothing is kind of painted or anything like that. So they are the other accessories. Now let's have a look and see what clothes she came with. So here is a long t-shirt dress, which is just what you need. I think I've mentioned this in other videos, but I've never ever seen anyone wearing a t-shirt dress. Maybe I'm not going to the right places, but I don't know. It's not just the fact that it's a t-shirt dress, it's the fact that it's got all this awful kind of graffiti all over it, which just looks a bit sort of cheap and tacky, but maybe kids like it, I don't know. It says love all over it. We've got smiley faces. It's purple. Maybe if it had just been like purple with a pattern on, it might have been nicer. I just don't like it. It's just a bit bleh. Saying that, it's at least kind of overlocked around the neck. We've got stitching around the arms, and we've got stitching around the bottom. We've got Velcro on the back to get it on her. So at least it's finished off and it's not just kind of raw edges everywhere. So yeah, so that is that, and it's actually quite nice fabric. It feels, you know, as cotton as it kind of gets with these kind of things. So that is that. And then finally we've got this look. So I've swapped her out and put it on her. I did actually find the skirt quite difficult to get on. So it doesn't have any fastening to it. It's got an elasticated waist. The fabric is that kind of like silvery stuff, and I can already see where there were Kimble tags in it because it's left marks, which is kind of annoying. As I say, it was quite tight to get on. So I think, you know, if you do have a child playing with this, maybe just be careful or give them a hand with it because it is a bit of a struggle. I also wasn't sure whether the elasticated waist, which is this silvery bit here, whether it should be kind of tucked in, which is what it wants to do, or whether it should be out. I kind of feel that it's better being out because why use that kind of nice sort of braided elastic if it's going to be inside? I also presume that the ruched part is meant to be on one side rather than down the middle, but I guess, you know, that's kind of preference. It's a fine piece. It's okay. I just think it's a bit of a struggle to get on, and also, you know what this fabric does. It's not going to last forever. It ends up perishing and going everywhere, which is quite annoying. But it looks good for now anyway. And then I've got this jacket on her as well. So this is kind of like a pink pleather jacket, which has got Velcro on the front to kind of fasten it. There's raw edges on the collar part. I don't know if you can see. Yeah, there's no stitching around the collar, which is okay because this kind of material is not going to fray. But again, this is kind of one of those materials which will probably end up perishing in time and literally, you know, going everywhere and being really annoying. For now, it looks very good. Again, if there were Kimble tags in this, it's probably left a mark, so you'll probably notice that. I like it. It's a nice piece, I think. I like the fact that it's actually a full-sleeved one, because I'm pretty sure in one of the advent calendars that I got, she got a jacket like this, but it was kind of like a cropped sleeve, which seemed a bit odd. Teamed with these, I've given her the pink boots because I think they go quite nicely with the pink jacket. So that is her like that. So look, I'm going to have a little play with her. I might change her up a little bit. I might put another outfit on her, and then we'll have a final look at her together. So here we go. I've brought back Odile. I've also bought my other Odile doll back. So it's this gal on the end here with the pink hair. So this one was originally the Odile mermaid doll that came out a couple of years back. She's been rebodied on a posable body. So these bodies I'm using, because I've also, if you haven't noticed, I've also rebodied Odile, the one that came today. So I've given her a Barbie extra body. I know that everyone really loves the made-to-move bodies, but for me, I find them a little bit robotic. So I kind of prefer these because the joints on them, you know, the knee joints, the elbows and everything, they seem less kind of clunky looking. And they still offer, you know, some pretty good articulation, but without that kind of whole sort of very jointed look. So yeah, I gave her a bit of a body swap, which I was happy about because the other bodies are just rubbish, really, aren't they? The whole kind of 5 point of articulation. I mean, they might be good for kids because obviously if they're playing with them a lot, they're probably a bit more sturdy than ones with sort of all the joints, but I think for an adult collector who wants to kind of pose them and stuff like that, these bodies are a lot better. One of the things that I found quite interesting, particularly seeing the two Odiles next to each other, is the difference of their faces. So one of them is an open mouth Odile, which is obviously the one with the pink hair, and the other one's a closed mouth one. But just the way they've kind of been painted, they look so different. You almost would not know that it was the same head sculpt. And of course next to them we have got a Millie face. So this one is from the Barbie Deluxe line, and she was one that I particularly liked, mainly because she's got a really nice hairdo, and she's also got side glance going on as well. Also, when I got her, she originally came in that sort of pink, really kind of Barbie core sort of baby doll dress, which I really liked. And obviously, you know, now I've kind of put her in the pink leather jacket with the silver skirt, and I've given her the kind of grey / silver shoes. So I think this look is actually very nice for Millie. It'd also be nice on Odile, obviously. I think the fact that she's already wearing earrings which match the dress is pretty good. I should say the other two dolls do not have pierced ears. So, Odile in the middle is wearing our favourite t-shirt dress with love written all over it. She's also wearing the love necklace. And I've given her the pink boots because I thought they'd go nicely with the pink that's actually in the dress. I haven't put the sunglasses on any of them because it kind of covers their eyes, and I think it looks a bit nicer to have their faces completely showing. So I'm not a huge fan of this look. I'm not sure Odile is a huge fan of this look either. I think it would have been nicer if maybe it was longer and it didn't have this kind of weird pattern on it. Or if it had been shorter, like a t-shirt, and they'd given her a pair of shorts or something else, or a skirt or something to go with it instead, rather than us having this kind of large chunk of this kind of weird graffiti kind of pattern. To be fair, Barbie is the kind of live, laugh, love of the doll world, so we have to expect this kind of cringe from her in a way. But yeah, it's a kind of a bit sad. But anyway, look, I'm sure kids will love it, but maybe not the adults so much. I think t-shirt dresses as well. We got so used to getting them with the Barbie fashionistas, where it just seemed to be every other dress was a t-shirt dress. So yeah, so that is that. And then the original outfit that Odile came in is on the other Odile doll. So she's got this kind of purple, spangly, asymmetrical dress with the frill on the front. She's got the kind of turquoise handbag. She's also got the purple shoes. And I should mention, because I did forget to say it, I've given Millie the kind of yellow handbag or orange handbag. So what are your thoughts? I personally think that the doll and the fashion stuff that she came with is actually pretty good. I think it would be good value, and I think kids would like it because I think you certainly get a nice selection of clothes. You also get 3 pairs of shoes, which is actually pretty good. You get 2 handbags as well, which are quite different in their own way, and maybe don't particularly go with an awful lot that's there, but, you know, I don't think kids worry too much about sort of trying to accessorise and match the colours up or anything like that anyway. And you also get the lovely necklace that Odile is wearing, and you also get the sunglasses. So I think you do get a lot in the pack. So again, a huge thank you to Millie, who sent me this. Not Millie Barbie, but Millie from Millie Dolly Dame. If you've enjoyed this video, please give it a like. Please subscribe if you haven't done so already. And please share the video if you know anyone else that would like this kind of content. And I will see you in the next one. So until then, take care. Bye.